Medzii. This is a company based in Seattle in the US, relatively small company, relatively new, although they brought almost all their whole team to Japan with them. So this is combining food with other things going into the body. We talk about things that go into the body. Adverse drug reactions, problems with drugs, we know are a big problem, leading cause of illness, death, leading cause of hospital admission. And of course, drugs are not all there is, right? We also take other kinds of supplements, we take food, and if you combine all that, you have even more problems. So what Medzii does is it combines medical information about those drugs, about supplements, about conditions, with other things around side effects, adverse reactions, other interactions, and reviews, and creates very personalized information in a simple but easy to understand manner. They have a proprietary machine learning model, yet more artificial intelligence going on here. You knew that was going to come in, and they predict those interactions personalized to the patient. So, Ravi and Ben, please take it away, show us how it works.
Thank you. Thank you, Matthew. So, as Matthew mentioned, Medzii is a knowledge base that consists of data from machine learning models, as well as the collective intelligence of humans that arise from pharmacists, clinical data over 30 years that is available in PubMed, drug labels, and general forums and social media discussions that happen. So our hope is to provide this information that is personalized and trustworthy for the consumer, as well as a data platform that is available for anyone to partner with, along with information about drugs, supplements, food, and how they interact with each other. So without further ado, I want to show you two screens. So the one on my left, right on your left, is a generic version of Medzii, and that is essentially a person with no medical data. The one on the right side is personalized to Ben, and specifically data that has been imported either from an electronic medical record, manually entered, also available from labs or a pharmaceutical company, pharmacies specifically, that data has been imported in. And I will show you how this data differs from the left versus the right as we go through it. So the first drug we will look at is Crestor. Crestor is a very popular cholesterol medication in the United States. In fact, it is taken by 250 million pills annually are taken in the United States alone. And Crestor, as you can see, the data that we have about it is correlated from various sources, along with the FDA, the drug label itself, PubMed, which has roughly 30 years of clinical data around it, including clinical trials, and then as well as social and media forums and discussions that are happening around the disease itself. So as I progress through it, you can see different information. So dosage, for instance, we know from clinical data that Crestor has different dosage, even though on the drug label it may be very different dosage that has been known to have side effects for specifically for Asians. As we progress further, I want to call out two specific things related to interactions. Interaction that Matthew mentions, drug drug reactions is in fact third or fourth leading cause of death worldwide. And if I specifically look at that, we have provided this interaction not only at the drug-to-drug level, but also with conditions, foods and supplements that you may be taking in addition to purely multiple drugs that you may be taking as well. The second thing I want to call out is the notion of predicted reaction. And this is predicted reaction that has been mined on FAERS. FAERS is equivalent to the Japanese Adverse Drug Reaction Database. So we've mined that data as well as PubMed. Again, clinical data as well as over 30 years of research that is available, and mine that data to give you interactions, possible interactions or reactions that are not listed on the drug label. So specifically, if I look at it, acetaminophen is a very popular one that has showed up. As I look at this in much further detail, one thing I want to be related to the risk I want to call out is the difference between the left versus the right. So you'll notice that in Ben's case, he is allergic to, possibly allergic to Crestor, maybe called out. And the other thing that I want to call out is the risk factor. So in his case, the risk is slightly higher than the one on the left. And if we deep dive into that, you'll notice that he was allergic to lactose, and the second thing that affected this rating was the fact that he has a liver condition. And so both of those have, basically altered the risk factor of this medication. And then the next question is, what other options does he have? So as I look through, one thing we want to provide is alternatives to medication so you can have an informed decision in consultation with your provider. So as you look at the alternatives, you will see Lipitor as one medication that's on the top. And even in this case, it is, even though it has slightly higher risk than one on the left, it does have a lesser risk in specifically Ben's case than Crestor did. So we also have data that is international data set. So I will demonstrate that with you. Another disease, very common drug that is Avandia. Avandia is a drug that was recently introduced to Japan. And that is a common drug taken for diabetes. As you will notice that this data we have taken from international sources, you will notice that from a recall perspective, it is actually banned in several countries, and only a certain formulation is banned in the US, but it is readily available in many countries. Along with the drug information and supplements includes, one thing we do provide is we know that we're searching for drugs and supplements, and as a result, we want to also look at what recommendations we can provide in terms of health tips. But specifically for diabetes, we have actually looked at PubMed again, looking at 30 years of clinical data set, looked at what, and then validated with a team of nutritionists to arrive at tips that maybe help you from a daily perspective. So in this case, we're looking at meal timings as a very important health tips. You will notice though that that is also a very common tip that is also used for cholesterol. However, the description for both of these is quite different based on the clinical data that has been given for both cholesterol versus diabetes. I can go further deep dive into meal timings and get a lot more detailed information about it. And when I look at this from a meal time perspective, I can also add this to my personal feed. The notion of a personal feed is the idea that I can not only look at relevant news information related to my conditions, ongoing recall that I may be able to track, and also look at, from a tips perspective on things that I can do to improve my habits. So as I add this to my health tip, when you look at our beautiful homepage, you'll notice that we have a feed that is customized to the specific user, and again, you can export that anywhere you like, and go from there. So that's all I have for now, and if there are any further questions, happy to answer them. Thank you so much.
Ravi, please come to that. We have a couple of minutes, but then please come to us too. Grab the mic. So, you're trying to do something pretty complicated here. You are trying to integrate a bunch of different information from a bunch of different sources, and now integrate that, in the case of Ben's version, the right-hand side, with other information you know about it. So you're having to get data from multiple sources. So let's talk about, for start, how you're technically doing that integration from different places. How you get your data from the medical record, and then how you get your data from the different sources to integrate it in one place, so you can have personalized information about the impact of the ban you request for mail.
We started looking at this data originally from the FDA, and our hope was to have a lot of that data available, both in terms of what the product itself has, drug labels, and as you so rightly said, Matthew, the data itself, we had to go further out from the FDA and look at other sources to get at the root of what exactly is in a drug. And so specifically, we started now, not only from FDA, we looked broader within the organization from NIH. We pulled data from supplements, food, and in addition to that, we pulled all that data together. Then we started mining FAIRS, which is the adverse drug reaction database. It's equivalent to the JADA in Japan. CIDR, which is a side effect reaction database. We actually had to crawl various news sources and the drug label manufacturer sites to get that data, to pull them all together in oncology, which is from a drug perspective, that is available now, that we have a clean, structured data from lots of unstructured places that can be available to individuals.
Yeah, we started this journey about 4 years ago. At that time, we kind of wondered, when you go to the drugstore and buy a bag of chips, you look at the back of the label, right? But then yet, you go to the doctor with a prescription, you don't understand what you're reading. And for a geek like us, we actually, when we want to research about it, so we Google it, and we understand the technology nowadays should have all the information out there. And it took us a lot of time, even us, just to look through the information, and we still don't understand it. So that's kind of triggered the initiative that we feel like all those information is out there, we have very smart technology, and why haven't we applied that to this space yet?
So, it's great to get the data together. By the way, you didn't really answer my question about getting data from medical record. That's another big problem in the US and elsewhere. We kind of touched on that. In fact, Hal and I touched on that this morning about, getting data from the health system in medical record. How are you importing that? I don't know if you thought about that in Japan, but in the US, how are you thinking about accessing that data?
So as you see earlier on the screen, there's my medical ID. That's basically where I have my prescription drugs. You can either enter it manually, obviously, but then also you can also import automatically from all the prescription, because all that is already in the digital record in different hospital system, the labs. We have about 3,000 different endpoints that you can import in the US market right now.
And that, to be fair, that's pretty tricky in the US. There's still a lot of different places to go. Patients have a lot of different portals. We know the Walgreens and some of the PBM cards have got data. It's not a simple process.
It's not.
Right. So
it's a journey that took us a good 2 years to be able to, enable those endpoints across various labs, pharmacies, and hospital networks. And the data is not structured, so we had to take that data in and normalize it, whether it's ICD-based, ICD-10 based from a disease perspective, or an HL7 transaction, which is essentially, we're trying to get what's coded in their medical records and trying to take all that data and normalizing it in structured form.
Right. So let's assume we've got that, which is a bit of a jump, but a bit of an assumption, and the people are using that. Some of the questions were raised earlier in this panel about utilization, especially from Aston or others. How do you get to market? So now you're at the point where the thing works. How do you get to market this and figure out who are your target users, who get the most value out of this, and how do you get this kind of thing adopted on a wider scale? Because, we've seen many applications in Health 2.0 where people have built these really cool things, but can't really get it to scale. So how are you going to deal with that problem?
Yeah, so I think there are a couple of avenues that you're exploring. So one is as part of the integrating it back to the EMR system. So we have all this data relevant that whether it's an alert that comes up as part of your electronic medical, it's the Epic and Cerners that have that alerting mechanism and being able to provide an additional data set that is now exposed. In fact, our platform is already capable of doing that, so that's one. The second thing is around working with the insurance companies and providing the data from a cost of reduction in cost in terms of you going back to your point about hospitalization as a result of taking the drug and having the interaction be available to the payer so that that can be correlated in part of the education process that happens. Third is with the point of sale. So when I talk about the point of sale from instead of me having a less than 10-second conversation with the pharmacist, having that data available in a knowledge that is easy to understand versus the 4-page pamphlet that nobody from a consumer perspective understands, is the other thing we want to do.
So let's, in the last couple of minutes, talk about scaling this as businesses. We're both very relatively early-stage businesses. We've got obviously connections, but there are much larger organizations who are in the drug business or in the home diagnostics business. How are you planning, I'll ask you both this, how are you planning to take this to scale? How are you planning to get this to be something that is sort of routinely used for those patients who would benefit? So either, perhaps you can take this first. How do you think you're going to get this to millions of homes, or rather than how do you get this to millions and millions of users? Give me a sense of how your journey as a business is going to go from there.
Yeah, I'll give you one example of that. Partnerships. And this is the war that we are having in mind right now. One example is before we started to develop something, we were talking to different toilet manufacturers to understand really the technology in the market. And for example, we have talked with some manufacturers from Europe, from the United States, and we are also in conversations with Toto, the Japanese toilet manufacturer. They all agree that in 15 years or maybe 20 years, because the toilet adoption market is a little bit lower than other markets.
You don't replace a toilet every year?
Yeah, I know. But everyone will have in 15 years, maybe 20, smart toilet will analyze different environmental parameters. So we are trying to have different partners from a pharmaceutical perspective, also toilet manufacturing, and from the clinical perspective, as well as patient organization, to try to scale our business for the future. Another way, I think, will not work.
So that'll be one partnership. Do you think, given that it'll take a while to replace the toilet stock in the house and people put in a new toilet every 10, 20 years or whatever, are there other ways you can get there faster?
We're trying. I mean, we have two things in the backstage that we cannot talk about it. That we are seeing that maybe for 2020 we can have a big impact here in Japan and also in Europe.
But it's fair to guess that there'll be partnerships with other people who've got access to consumer information.
Yes.
And part of it, and similar question for you and Ravi.
Yeah, I think exactly what Adrian has also said. I think the key is partnerships. So whether it is a health system that is deploying it, so we know, for instance, that about 130 clinics and in the Seattle area, for instance, looking to basically pilot this as a way to disseminate information to physicians, and that further goes down to patients, right? So that's one. We're also looking at, from an aging population perspective, senior homes that are, you have nurses that are using it as a way to do medication adherence. So you have a nurse that is giving medication to a senior resident in the aging home, and we're partnering with them on rolling this out at a patient and consumer level. I think the key is whatever the dimension that we look at, it is ultimately the partnerships that we're looking to work with. So in fact, it's been a great forum for us to leverage the great work that you guys have already done and work together on.
Well, I want to thank you both, because looking forward to this, we're clearly at a point where we have ways of capturing this information, whether it's diagnostic or information coming in over smart applications or whatever it happens to be, where we're going to be able to help a lot of people if we can figure out a way to get this data and these systems to them and really help prevent them from all the bad things that can happen through not tracking this. And so that's obviously the business you guys are in. And as we think about changing the healthcare system, we have a technology platform-based system which is managing messaging and monitoring. You guys are doing all of that. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how you guys progress from being small companies today, and hopefully in a couple of years we'll come back and see you have much wider. So with that, I want to wrap this panel. I want to thank our earlier presenters, and I want to thank Ben, Ravi, Medzii very much. Thank you. All right. So now I'm moving on.